Some people leave behind houses, some leave behind money. But the rarest people leave behind something far more valuable. A kindness that keeps changing lives long after they're gone. Tonight's story isn't about fortune. It's about a promise, a mother, and the day her love found its way home. Welcome to StoryMun. Take a seat, open your heart, and let's step into today's story. 3 months after my mother passed away, someone knocked on my door. It was a cold October evening in Bozeman, Montana. My 8-year-old son, Noah, was finishing his homework at the kitchen table while I struggled to make dinner. When I opened the door, a woman in her late 30s stood there holding a faded envelope. Her eyes were filled with tears. She looked at me for a long moment before whispering, "Your mom gave me this address." My heart skipped. "I'm sorry, have we met?" She shook her head. "My name is Claire Bennett. I've been looking for you for almost 6 years. She handed me the envelope. It was my mother's handwriting. There was my name and our address. I invited her inside. She looked around the tiny house before noticing the framed photograph of my mother. She smiled sadly. "She never changed." "You knew her?" Claire nodded. 12 years ago, I had nothing. I just lost my parents. My business had failed. I was living in my car behind a diner. I stared at her. "My mom worked at a diner." "I know. That's where we met." Claire's voice trembled. "Every night she'd bring me a bowl of soup and pretend she'd made too much. She knew I couldn't afford food. One snowy evening, my mother found Claire shivering inside her car. Instead of asking questions, she simply said, 'Come home with me. Nobody should face winter alone.' Claire stayed for 3 weeks. When she finally found a new job and tried to repay every dollar, my mother gently pushed the money back into her hands. Then she said something Claire never forgot. 'One day life will be kind to you again. If it ever is, don't pay me back. Find my son. If he ever needs someone, remind him that kindness always comes home.'" Claire wiped away a tear. I promised her I would. Life slowly changed. Claire rebuilt her career. Years later, she founded a successful company that helped struggling small businesses recover after disasters. She never forgot the woman who had saved her. She searched for my mother, only to learn she had passed away. "So I came here," she whispered, "to keep my promise." I looked at the envelope again. Inside was one short note from Mom. "Ethan, if you're reading this, it means Claire found you. I hope you welcome her the way we welcomed each other. Love grows when it's shared." I couldn't hold back my tears. Just then Noah walked into the room. "Who's the lady, Dad?" Claire smiled and knelt beside him. "I'm someone your grandma helped a long time ago." Noah thought for a moment. "So, Grandma made a new friend?" Claire smiled through tears. "I think she made a family." Months passed. Claire became part of our lives, not by changing them overnight, but by showing up. She helped Noah with his science fair project. She joined us for Sunday dinners. She laughed at my mother's old recipes, even when we burned them. One spring afternoon, Noah placed fresh flowers on Grandma's grave. He looked up at Claire and quietly asked, "Do you think Grandma knew you'd really come?" Claire took a deep breath. "I think your grandma believes something beautiful." "What?" "That love never ends where a life does. It continues in every person touched by kindness." Years later, when people asked me what my mother left behind, I never mentioned the little house or the old family recipes. I simply smiled. Because her greatest inheritance wasn't something she owned. It was the lives she changed. Funny, isn't it? We often measure a person's life by what they leave behind. But perhaps the true measure isn't money or success. It's how many hearts still carry their kindness after they're gone. A single warm meal, a safe place to sleep, a promise kept. Sometimes that's enough to change generations. If this story touched your heart, tell us in the comments. What's the greatest act of kindness someone has ever shown you? Your story might remind someone that goodness still exists in this world. Thank you for spending these moments with StoryMun. Until our next story, never underestimate a quiet act of kindness. Because long after we're gone, love has a remarkable way of finding its way home.